Lance. He's getting some upgrades, +1 attack, +1 armor, getting another Colossus out, and the Zealot charge. His charge is, of course, very strong against Terran, especially if you have really good force fields. You make it so the Terran can't retreat, and then you close them in with your Zealots. Otherwise the Zealots are pretty much just there to absorb damage for the Colossus and whatnot. They're very mineral heavy, whereas the other stuff is not. Looks like a factory just going to be plowing his way on in here, going to be scouting. Apparently he doesn't want the factory anymore. The thing is, if you lose the factory, you can't add on any more starports. So it's like, okay, this is how many starports I want. I have to build a whole other factory just to get another one. So it looks like he has 2 starports. That's pretty good. I mean, you don't really need 3. That'd just be absurd unless you're going to like pure air. But yeah, might as well, I guess. We'll see if he goes nukes. I want to see some nukes. I mean, it's like, if you attack the fronts here with your main army and just drop 1 ghost in the back, nukes are more awesome. If you could do some serious damage. Or maybe a couple of ghosts and nuke. I think there is actually a lot there to be discovered. Just like with Nidus. Apparently there's going to be a drop in the back. But recently I've actually been using Nidus for harassment in the mid-game and late-game. It actually helps out quite significantly. I mean, you harass like multiple areas. I mean, you attack the fronts while Nidus is third, and then you drop in his main, and just like, okay, he's totally screwed then, Like, you can't defend all 3, so... it's just kind of like an easy way to get there, I'm not sure who's going to win at this point. I'm just going to bet on random people, because that's fun. Well, looks like Protoss does have quite the ball of death right now. Terran definitely has some good stuff as well, has the right combination of units. I don't know, I feel like he could use some more medevacs, but at the same time, it's like he does need quite a few Vikings for these Colossus, because there are a lot of Colossus there. And, I mean, if he kites these Zealots, it's going to be just fine. Anyways, he is moving out right now, and actually there's a scan going down right there, so... I don't know, apparently he just had a sixth sense about it, knew Protoss was coming out. And, well, these Vikings are just kind of chilling out, going to get ready for that attack. Looks like Terran is on 1-1, Protoss is on 1-1 as well. It looks like Protoss is going to take some extra damage from those Colossus for now. But that's not really the way about it you want to go. But at the same time, there aren't really a lot of Stalkers, so I kind of understand that. Also take out the Colossus before they even get to your units. So, if he kills off those Colossus, this is not going to be an even trade. This is going to be death for Protoss. Apparently, it's still going to be pretty deadly for Protoss. Terran's actually leaving some guys back here by accident. Just he wants to take out this Colossus first, I guess. Just not... Why does my screen keep scrolling like that? Well, anyways... It's actually not a bad idea to just move some aside like that, just so your Colossus don't get like a huge amount of damage off you. But, well, should be a GG soon, because after that push, Protoss is definitely way behind. And, even though there hasn't been a lot of drops, there hasn't been a lot of, all that, it's just been kind of a good ground engagements. I guess Terran's still going to win it. That's kind of how I look at it. Protoss pretty much can't do a lot with harass. They can harass. They do have the warp prism or warp prism. They do have pylons that can warp and stuff at different locations, and that does help. But for Terran has a lot more options than Protoss does with drops and banshees and all that, which can be used. I mean, you just got to use it more often. I think people overlook those things quite a lot. And just think, oh, I can't do it. It's really not that bad. Just build some banshees, hold shift, click like here, and then attack here. And then, Protoss is going to have a hard time just dealing with that. You're going to get off a couple of kills, and then once it says, oh, my banshees are under attack, and you move them back. It's as easy as that. And, Zerg, they have even more options, Nidus and drops and banelings and all that good stuff. So I mean, there's a lot that Zerg can do, and that's why Zerg is weaker, because you're expected to do stuff like that. Like I'd say Terran's weaker against Protoss in the late game, but you're expected to do drops. You're expected to do things that hurt him, continually, and that's why Protoss is more of a death ball race. Make a billion guys, get your 200 food going there, do some real damage. And right now I'm kind of concerned because Terran's not going in there to kill him or do any damage. So I mean, it's kind of like, okay, we traded armies, but I won the battle, so I'm just gonna sit here, and hopefully I'll get 200 first again. Looks like he pretty much is at 200. He could push right now. Apparently he's gonna go after that pylon first with that marine. All right, so now he has a +2 attack. That's good. That's good. 8 damage per marine. That is pretty significant. Pretty darn significant. Protoss here actually is sitting on 3 attack upgrades and 2 armor, so he actually swung ahead there just with Chrono. Chrono is just super awesome. Looks like he's got the +3 armor now as well. At this point, you really could get shields. Like, shielding does help, and shielding regenerates. So I mean, it's like, I feel like a lot of players don't look into that. You know, like the speed of shield regeneration, you could really attack somewhere, pull back, regenerate all the shields, and you know, if you get armor on top of that, that's going to be even more awesome. So I mean, I feel like there's a lot of untapped potential there as well. Anyways, it looks like that cluster there are just going to go down pretty much for free. There's some pretty good storms going off, actually excellent storms going off, and well, Jason might actually get back in this just with those storms, but there are a lot of Marauders out here. Marauders definitely take a lot of extra damage from storms, especially with Medivacs healing them. And well, looks like he's just going to be losing all these guys anyways. Try to morph in some Archons. Not going to be a big deal. And there it is. Transmusique does take the win. So I mean, actually that was a pretty good game there. You know, it wasn't like terribly exciting, but I mean, it was like a fairly even game, I suppose, and just the way things went down. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were like the same league. And I'm guessing they're probably Diamond. Maybe. Maybe. Apparently he's not Terran. Alright, well I can see if you know, after that play, if he wasn't Protoss, I mean if he wasn't Terran, then I mean he could definitely be pretty good. Well, looks like he's playing random against Jason, who's playing random, so actually both players are playing random. And we'll see what they spawn as. That Zerg against Zerg, so this is totally weird for them, because you know, if you play Protoss or if you play Terran and you have no idea how Zerg against Zerg is played, like if you don't play random, then anything could happen. Anything at all. I mean, if it's like 2 good players in a situation where like they don't know what they're doing, it's kind of like, okay, what is going to happen? Like, what kind of interesting thing are they going to come up with? So I'm really excited to see what they do. First 2 infestors wins. No, not really, but well, Music has spawned at the 3 o'clock position here as our I mean, I call it the, you know, the gray blue player. I guess you could call it more of a light purple, but I like to call it gray blue because that's how it is to me. So anyways, he spawned at the 3 o'clock. I think I already said that, but his opponent, of course, Jason, spawning at the 12, and well, since they're close air positions, those overlords already know where the opponent's is. They do not have to put out a drone to scouts. In these positions in Zerg against Zerg, I like to do, like, once I know that he has that overlord there, I plan on doing a 15 hatch, 14 extractor right after I put down the hatch, and then a spawning pool when I can afford it. And then from there you drone to 15, overlord on 15, then you get out Zerglings after that and get your speed right away and all that good stuff. So, you know, with that in mind, you can actually get out a lot of Zerglings, and at the same time, if they go like a standard 14 pool, they're not going to get to your base for a long time. I mean, by the time they get to your base, you know, you're going to have enough guys to defend it. And if not, you can always just put guys back and forth. Well, they're going to be both hatching first. It looks like Music here just doing exactly what I said. I'm not sure if they probably are ghosting. Whatever. I don't even care anymore. Apparently, Blaze is going to leave to go walk the dog. Well, that's good. Take care of your animals. Looks like Jason here just going to be going pool first. No extractor, and well, if Music here, yeah, he's going to put guys in the gas right away. So once that pool finishes, he's going to be able to get that speed right away. which is going to be extremely significant in this because I mean, if one player, if Jason here goes roaches, for example, those speedlings can just kill off this hatchery. End of game. That's going to be the end of it. There's not much that Jason can do about it in terms of winning. However, if he goes just Zerglings and Spine Crawlers, he might be alright depending on how he does it, building placement and all that. But without the speed, I mean, there's just a lot that could happen that could kill you. So I'm really kind of surprised. He is actually going roaches. Straight up roaches off 2 hatch, I do not agree with. I actually see a lot of good players do it. It's not something I like to see just because my play just kills my opponent. If my opponent tries to do this, you just die. And that's it. That is it. Looks like both players over droned. You definitely don't want to drone after 15 until you have guys out, because otherwise you are probably going to lose a bunch of drones, maybe a hatchery, just because of a couple of extra drones. I mean, then you get some guys out, defend whatever's coming at you, potentially. You could put on some damage, possibly. Looks like, actually, Music here not going to be taking out guys from the gas, which is, I guess, alright if he's going to switch right into mutas, switch right into roach or mutas or something. I don't know. You want some gas maybe building up if you're going to do it pretty soon. Otherwise, you definitely want to not do that so you can get out some extra Zerglings, some drones and all that. Maybe an extra hatchery even at some point if you really want to go all in on it. But yeah, Trans Music here going to be sitting back. Jason now has a couple of Spine Crawlers. Going to be sitting really well. At this point, you pretty much can drone just because you see, okay, he's going Spine Crawler. If he attacks, he's not going to have that many Zerglings. If he goes Roach, he's not going to have that many drones, and if he goes Roach, he's not going to be able to attack me easily, because I have speedlings, and if he attacks me, I'm just going to run something into his base, and he's going to die. So, I don't know, that's the kind of play that I love to do. I absolutely love to do. I see his Roach move on, I'm like, yes! I'm going to go into his base, call off all of his drones, and go back to, well, it looks like he's going to go off for, what's he doing? What's he doing? Looks like these 2 queens are actually guarding the ramp pretty well. Looked around, he's, just scouting, I believe. I don't believe he's really trying to kill anything off there. Now, I mean, at this point, Jason has to be very careful here. If he moves out at the wrong time, then Zerglings are just going to abuse him. If he puts his guys in the wrong position, Zerglings are going to abuse him. And at this point for Music, I mean, he could really just add on a whole lot of drones, tech up, do whatever he pretty much wants, as long as he gets enough defense by the time roaches get there. I mean, so like for example, right now maybe you want to add on a couple of Spine Crawlers, get like 2 or 3 up, and then later on maybe add on a couple more, because that's a very efficient way to defend against roaches. And so I mean, it's really, do you want to, and then if he moves out, you can counterattack and whatnot, and then come back and defend. But there's a lot that Music can do, just without getting too many military units, is what I'm saying. But, well, looks like the layer's going up for Jason. No layer quite yet for Music, but he's getting that Roach Warren. Alright, layer's coming online now. So he has the Roach Warren, Baneling Nest, pool, of course. And, well, we'll see if he does some Baneling Bombs. He's going to be going for some Baneling, or not drops, but going to try to get into the natural here. And there goes a lot of drones, actually, like 6, 7, 8 drones there. These are all very injured, so you can actually just put in a couple Zerglings and click on each drone. That actually does a lot. I actually misclick a lot, and I can still pull it off. So, it's something to think about. Anyone can do that. If I can do it with all my misclicks, anyone can target fire any of these drones. You just got to be fast about it. Sorry about that. Water is elements of life. Anyways, it looks like Music here now running right back up here. Pretty much just wants to scare his opponent. I mean, you really don't want to attack with just Zerglings with roaches on the ramp. I mean, that would just not turn out well, especially with these Spine Crawlers around. But if you just run around and look, make sure he sees your Zerglings, and it's like, okay, I'm going to attack you, and then just pull away. You might force him to build some extra Zerglings or roaches or something like that. That's always going to be good. I think Terran and Protoss players know that pretty well, but Zerg against Zerg is kind of like, okay, you don't really see that all that often. So, I don't know, it's something you might want to consider. Anyways, now that the layers are done, it's kind of like, okay, what player is doing what? Apparently Jason here is getting those Evolution Chambers, but he's not going to get any upgrades at all. No big deal, I guess. Oh, he's going to get some Okay, he's finally getting speed. All right, and the roach